Hey everyone, so I wanted to take a little bit of time, yeah I know I'm creepy, I wanted to take some time to make a video showing you how to export out an image sequence from Maya. This is something we're learning in multiple classes, but there's a bunch of steps that people have a tendency to look over, and this is just sort of to answer some of the questions about why is your image sequence render not working. So the first thing is you want to make sure that you set your project to the right place, okay? Because if not, it's just going to dump all your images when you render into the default folder, and you're not going to remember where that's at, and you're going to have to dig around forever until you find it. So to do that, we just go File, Set Project, and I usually do this before I even open the file. And in this case, it's called like Greg Head or something like that. There we go. Set. And so when I go File and Open Scene, you'll see that it takes me immediately to that folder, to the Scenes folder, and I can open that up. Don't save. Okay. Now, in this scene, we go to Panels, Perspective. You can see I can go to my perspective view and see this, but what I have is I have some camera animation flying around this retopologized version of my head. And so I hit 6 so we can see that. Go to the camera that's animating, which is camera 1, and you'll see that this is the animation that I'm going to render. Right? So let's go look at the settings of how this render is going to work. So the first thing is, if you are not seeing this box around yours, that's because you don't have your resolution gate turned on. And so this little button here turns on your resolution gate, and this will show you, this green box around here shows you what is going to appear in your render. And so this is a way you can frame that. A nice way to change this so all you see is what's through this window is if we select the camera that we're using for that, go to our attribute editor, scroll down to, I always have a hard time remembering where this is at, display options. We have this gate mask color, so we can make that white or black. But as you see, it's still transparent a little bit. So set that to black, and then we can set the opacity all the way up to 1. And so now we're not going to see any of the excess stuff around it. Right? It's just a slow camera move around my head. Okay. I feel like that's the key I wanted there. Let's remove that. Right. So this is the scene I want to animate from frames 1 to 200. So let's go look and see what this is going to put out. So if I click this Display Render Settings button, this is my render settings, and right now it's set to render in Maya software. But we can choose Mental Ray, we can choose Viewport 2.0, whatever. This is the render options, and you'll probably already have messed around with some of this to turn on ray tracing and stuff like that. So I'm going to try to set this to render somewhat fast. So Maya software is the one I'm going to be using for this one, but there's always different options. So how do I make this show up as a series of, actually let's just a series of images in my folder. So right now you see where it's going to put it. My settings are already set up this way a little bit, but it's going to put it under the Greg's Head Images folder. Okay, so we get that because we set our project, and it's going to name it FaceLightTest1.iff. Now IFF is Maya's imaging, or is Maya's like default proprietary image option. But we're just going to change this. So we can change the name of this, and we could call it, demo or something like that. And you'll see that now whenever I change fields, you'll see now that that's updated to demo.1.iff. Okay, so we can change the file format if we want to. We can change this to JPEG or PNG if you're just needing a sequence. I would say try to do something that is not going to compress too much. So JPEG isn't always a good idea if you want a really nice render. Maybe TIFF or Targa are good ones, and PNG is not bad. So, but more than likely in the long run, you're going to start using stuff like Targas or different types of image formats. But IFFs are fine as well if you want to, because there's a built-in converter from Maya you can render to IFFs and then convert that to any file format you want. To save some time, let's just go ahead and set mine to something that we know everything will be able to use. Okay. Now, the problem with most is a lot of people will set those two things and then they'll, or maybe just not set anything, and they'll just go hit render, or they'll go to batch render, and it will just render one image, and they'll be like, why didn't it work? Okay, so batch render wants to render multiple images, but if yours is set to that, you'll see it's only going to render one image with a batch render because it only knows how to name one image. It just got the name demo, and then your frame animation extension is just set to the name of it. So if we want it to be a sequence, we have to choose one of these options that would allow it to be a sequence. So it could be name.number.extension, name_number.extension. And so what that's going to do is it's going to name it demo_1 and then the extension PNG. Now, a problem some people sometimes have is by doing extension.number, and so then it's going to do demo.png.1, and the problem with that is Windows is not going to recognize that as a .png file. It's going to recognize it as a .1 file, which isn't a file format that it thinks of as an image. So I usually do name_number.extension. The next thing you're going to need to do is change the range that you're going to render. So frame 1 to 200 is what I have mine set at. I think by default it'll be frame 1 to 10. Okay. And by default, Maya is going to set your renderable camera to your perspective camera. So if you've created a new camera that you need to render from, you need to make sure you set that to camera 1. Now this is our preset of what we're going to render out as our resolution. So right now it's HD 720, which is 1280 by 720. And this is the number that is going to decide what our resolution gate looks like out here. So if we had this set to 2K square, you see it's a different shape. Okay, now the HD 720 is the same layout as HD 540 and HD 1080. Like they are the same shape, it's just a different proportion of that shape, or different scale of that shape. This is the highest. This is HD 1080. Or this is, probably the highest high-def TV that you have is probably either HD 1080, or if it's a really small one, it's HD 720. HD 720 is a pretty decent one to use, so we'll go ahead and do that. In fact, I'm actually going to set mine to HD 540 just so it'll render a little faster, and we will get to see multiple image sequences, or multiple images come out of this. So if I hit close, that's really all I need to have set. I'm going to go ahead and save my file at this point. That way it'll save those changes that we made. And then I'm going to make sure I'm in my rendering menu. I'm going to go to render, batch render. I always choose the options, and I have no idea why, because there's not really a lot of options I want to change in here, but use all available processors. Go ahead and check that on. And then we can hit batch render and close. Now watch what happens when I do that. Well, it's going to ask me if I really want to use my program I'm using. Yes, I do. And then we're going to start getting information down here in this bottom corner. Now the interesting thing is what Maya just did is it launched a separate program to start rendering. It launched Maya Batch. And so it started doing that, but now what you see is I could actually close down Maya if I wanted to, and it would just keep rendering, but you're seeing a little output window here that tells you what's happening. Demo5.png, demo6.png, and if I clicked my script editor, we'll actually see it cycling through all that information. See it going, and that's fine. But this will be where we will see any errors that happen, and so we'll see where it's at as well. Okay, and if I go look in my folder for that, I think there's already some images in there. You'll see that it's making those images now. It's rendering those out one at a time, and we're getting this image sequence. Okay, and then from that image sequence, we can just take that into QuickTime or Premiere to create a video, and there's actually another video about how to do that in here. So hopefully that helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching. Bye-bye.